What if everything that feels like it's falling apart is actually God putting the pieces together in your favor? Life doesn't always make sense. Sometimes the road gets rough, doors close, and prayers seem to go unanswered. You might be wondering, where is God in all of this? But what if I told you that right now, in this very moment, God is rearranging everything in your favor? What if what looks like a setback is actually a setup? What if the struggles you're facing are not signs of His absence, but proof that He is moving behind the scenes? Too often we measure God's presence by how easy life feels, but faith isn't about what we see. It's about trusting that even in the silence, even in the waiting, even when nothing makes sense, God is still in control. The enemy wants you to believe that it's over, that the delay means denial, that the pain has no purpose. But the truth is, your story isn't finished. The pieces are coming together. The things that were meant to break you are actually building you. Today, I want to remind you that God's timing is perfect. His plan is greater than you can imagine, and everything you've been through is leading to something beautiful. So, don't give up. Don't lose faith. Stay with me until the end of this message, because I believe that by the time we're done, your heart will be stirred, your faith will be renewed, and you'll walk away knowing that no matter what it looks like right now, God is working it all out for your good. Let's dive in. Divine providence. God is sovereign and actively working behind the scenes, orchestrating events for our good, even when we don't see it. Romans 8:28. There is a profound truth that every believer must grasp. God is not a passive observer of our lives. He is sovereign, all-knowing, and actively involved in the intricate details of our existence. From the moment we take our first breath to the final moments of our earthly journey, His divine hand is at work, orchestrating events, aligning circumstances, and guiding us toward His perfect will. Even in moments of uncertainty, confusion, and suffering, God is moving behind the scenes in ways we cannot yet comprehend. Often we judge our lives by what we can see, feel, and understand. We measure progress based on what is tangible, and when things do not go according to our plans, we assume that God is distant or inactive. But the truth is that God's ways are far beyond human comprehension. He is not limited by time or bound by circumstances. What appears to be chaos in our eyes is, in reality, divine order unfolding according to His perfect plan. Consider the story of Joseph, a young man who had dreams of greatness but found himself betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned. To any outsider, it would have seemed as if Joseph's life was spiraling into endless misfortune. But in the unseen realm, God was working. Every setback was actually a setup. Every betrayal was part of a divine rearrangement. Joseph did not know it then, but God was positioning him for something far greater than he could have ever imagined. When the appointed time came, the very prison that once confined him became the platform for his elevation. The very people who sought to destroy him were the ones who unknowingly fulfilled God's plan for his life. In the end, Joseph was placed in a position of power, not just for himself, but to save many lives during a great famine. This is how God works. His providence is not random, it is purposeful. What looks like an obstacle today may be the very thing He is using to align you with your destiny. The job you lost, the door that closed, the relationship that ended. These are not signs of divine neglect, but divine intervention. God is moving, shifting, and arranging all things in your favor, even when it does not feel like it. There is a reason why Scripture tells us that all things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Notice that it does not say that all things will be easy, or that we will always understand the process. Rather, it affirms that every event, whether joyful or painful, is being woven together by God into something good. The disappointments, the delays, the difficulties, none of these are wasted. They are all pieces of a greater masterpiece that God is crafting. It is important to understand that divine providence does not mean life will be free of trials. Even Jesus assured us that in this world we would have trouble, John 16:33, but he also promised that he has overcome the world. This means that no matter what comes against us, no matter how dark the night may seem, God has already prepared the way for our victory. The battle may be fierce, but the outcome is already secured. His sovereign hand is upon us, and he is turning every situation, every challenge, every hardship into something that will ultimately work in our favor. Sometimes we are too focused on our immediate circumstances to see the bigger picture. But God sees the end from the beginning. What we perceive as delays are actually divine preparations. What we interpret as rejection is often redirection. Just because we do not see the fulfillment of his promises today does not mean that he is not working. There are things happening behind the scenes that we cannot yet perceive. Doors are being prepared, hearts are being softened, and divine connections are being arranged. Faith is trusting that even in the silence, even in the wait,
respond with a depth that transcends logic. Furthermore, your heart is not just a receiving station, it is a dwelling place.